Yes, sir.
Have an executive session.
Ready to do it?
Can't be right. When do we,
You good?
when do we not have?
All right, we're going to go ahead and call this special city council meeting to order. I've asked Councilman you to lead us in prayer and pledge.
You.
Please rise.
Pray with me. Heavenly Father, we come to you in prayer right now to give you thanks for another day that you've given. And Lord, I do pray for everyone out in the heat, that everyone would be able to be safe. And I thank you also for the business of the city that needs to be taken care of. And I pray that we would have wisdom and discernment in doing such, and knowing what our calling is and what it isn't. And I pray these things in the name of our Savior Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, roll call, please.
Terry Lamar.
Here.
Toya Shropshire.
Here.
Lori Bradshaw. Here. Kenneth Brashears.
Here.
Tyler Brown. Charles Trammell.
Here.
Chris Gonthier.
Here.
Bruce Smith.
Item 2, I have enter into public hearing. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Okay, this is for the zoning change for Casey's General Stores, owners Wallace and Phyllis Baker Trust, Lori and Reinhardt trustee. I have a motion from Choya and a second from Brashears. I'll call for the vote.
Lamar.
Yes.
Shropshire.
Here. Or yes. I'm here again.
Yes. Brashears.
Yes.
Trammell.
Yes.
Gonthier.
I'm here too, yes.
Smith.
Here.
Okay. We are in public hearing. Is there anybody for, any yeas for the zoning change?
I'll say something.
Are you a yay or a nay?
What difference does that make?
Well, I was giving the yays a second, and now I'll give you a,
All right. Well,
any yays?
I'm neither way.
Okay, well, come on up, Drew.
All right.
Drew, we love you either way.
Yeah.
We're not gonna, you know.
I just wonder how the notification is done. Is it like 300 feet from their property line, or each property line, each direction? Do you
I think
know?
it's from the center of the property is what we typically go from.
The center of the property.
Yes, sir.
So if somebody owns a big piece of property that's 300 feet on each side, they don't have to notify anybody?
Do we,
I've always assumed it was from the edge. I've never had to look it up.
I think it is from the edge, but I
Think
can't
so.
remember that.
for this purpose, it's, I know when we did the property on the north end of 69, north of the animal shelter, we went from the edge of the property that touched, and we went out
Yeah.
that way from there, so.
And why I'm bringing this up, I own in partners property that's, I think, within the 300 feet, and we were never notified, so. I just,
What is the address there?
oh gosh, I
The-
don't know.
you're talking
It's
the
that
car
car
wash.
wash. But I'm not against it. I just, for future references,
I'll
would
double
like
check
to
on
know,
that and see what happened there. if you
yeah,
don't mind.
like to know how
I'll get back
they
with you.
determine it. All right, thanks.
Thank you for letting us know that, Drew. Are there any nays? Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
We're in public hearing.
Yes, you do, I'm sorry.
I already spoke once. My name is Kathy Bogus. I'm not against it, but I would like to know, because I live, like I said, like right beside of it, and I'm worried about the noise and the lights and the cars and all that. I mean, I don't care, like I said, I don't care for it coming as long as it doesn't blare in my, because my living room wall is on that side and I have big windows. And I don't want it, any of that to affect, because we've lived there almost 28, 29 years, so it'd be hard to get used to.
Sure.
So, I just have concerns. So, do I need to call them, or will they call me, or I don't know?
No, typically you can voice your concerns and we can discuss it with them. I would
Okay.
think, to address the noise issues, I wouldn't foresee any more noise than already on the highway,
Because I'm so close to the highway, I hear the diesels
Right.
You know, and stuff like that, and the train. And after a couple of years, I kinda got used to that, so, you know.
Yeah, and I think if anything, we can talk to them about their lighting and what they're planning.
Okay,
on
yeah,
lighting.
I mean, other than that,
Those are all conversations that are healthy to have with them, so.
and I keep hearing, if I say that Casey's is coming to my house, oh, they have great pizza, you know, it's like,
what
I
hear.
have other concerns in good pizza, so, you know, I was just, you know, on the fence about that, so. But otherwise, you know, I think it's great, but I just wish it wasn't so close to my
Well, if
house.
you would like, and I know we're in public hearing, but I'll just throw this out there, you're welcome to come up and you and I can sit down, I'll make a list and we'll talk to the developer
Okay,
about those concerns and I'll
Yeah.
get you some answers.
okay,
That's easy to do
yes, I appreciate it, thank you.
and very responsive.
Are we able to talk during this time?
Do what?
Are we able to talk?
Well, I'm answering her question whether we like it or not.
No, that the light may make your home more secure. It may light up your area where,
Well, that's what I'm worried about, because when that church right there put up their big light, it comes right through my windows.
but does it help to light your area up where you feel safer or anything?
No, because, the other day, my husband was out mowing the grass and he found a can on the ledge of my, window right there, and somebody
Oh.
had, you know, cause somebody was in my yard right there, and it
Yeah.
kinda freaked me out, so,
I wouldn't
you
blame
know.
you for that.
I just have concerns,
Mhm.
so,
Well, like I said, I'm offering that up. If you wanna
Okay.
come up, we can definitely make a list and I'll talk to them. That's
yeah.
easy.
I mean, other than that, you know, I'm good, so,
Awesome.
all right, well, I appreciate
Well,
it,
thank you, Kathy.
thank you.
Do we have any other comments from public hearing? Okay. Being there are none, do I have a motion to exit public hearing?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion from Brashears and a second from Gantier. Call for the vote when you're ready.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown, Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar.
Yes.
Item 3, discussion and possible action regarding the zoning change for Casey's General Store for owners Wallace and Phyllis Baker Trust, Lori Ann Reinhardt, trustee. Legal is read above.
So move, and if necessary, waive the reading.
We have a motion to approve and to waive the reading. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
From Choya. Discussion?
Something I just thought of about when you mentioned lighting. I used to be a service technician for them, and we opened tons of stores in small town. I mean, you'd be shocked where they could fit a store. One of the things to be aware of is they will have to abide by certain local governing authorities as far as construction goes. So depending on how big your lot is, there's gonna have to be X amount of light. Because if it's not there, someone gets in a wreck, hits somebody, and it wasn't up to whatever the local authority was, they could get sued. But there are rules governing that. I know, I'm sure the city does too, but the best thing you can do is get a hold of them.
Question,
Yes, sir.
do they normally build a privacy fence around their stores?
Very common, yes.
That may take care of the problem right there.
Yeah, that would be what I was gonna ask, a
Yeah.
decent privacy fence, because that would block a lot of the noise.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
also block if there's any panhandling or
Yeah.
whatever going on that side of the thing, they'd be less likely they would just walk right into her yard.
Yeah, it was very common in stores where we were in a large residential area. That was very common for them to put up different height of fencing.
I think, good point, Bruce. I think that's something when I talk to the developer, we'll see. A lot of times the developers will be willing to do some, putting up a fence around the backside of their property is minimal investment for what they're gonna make, so,
And one other question,
discuss
Mr. Mayor, I
that.
know that doesn't really matter as far as the decision. Do you know if this is gonna be a 24-hour location or?
I have not gotten that yet.
Okay, all right, I don't know.
I haven't either, so, no, I don't know. But I'll talk to him about, thank you, Bruce, I'll check on that fence with him, that's easy. Any further discussion? Okay, and then we'll go ahead and call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes,
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Okay, item 4, do I have a motion to enter public hearing regarding the closing of the easement for Casey General Stores.
So moved.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion from Gantier and a second from Brashears. We'll call for the vote.
Brashears,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
We are in public hearing. Is there anybody that would love to speak regarding the closing of the easement for Casey's General Stores? Okay. Any last call? Okay. Do I have a motion to exit public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Gantier, second from Brashears. We'll call for the vote.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Brashears.
Yes.
Okay. Discussion and possible action regarding the closing of easement for Casey's General Store for owners Wallace and Phyllis Baker Trust, Lori Ann Reinhardt, trustee. Legal is read in item 2.
So moved with the waiving of the reading.
I have a motion
I'll
from
second.
Gantier, a second from Brashears. Basically, just for clarification, there was an easement found, a utility easement found through the center of that property that dated back quite far. Casey's wants to vacate that before moving forward. I think that's the appropriate and right thing to do. So that's really all that is, to vacate that so they can build on that. Any further discussion? Call for the vote.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Brashears,
Yes.
Trammell.
Yes.
Okay, item 6, public hearing. This is for the final plat for Casey's General Stores, owners Wallace Philip Baker Trust, Lori Ann Reinhardt, trustee. Legal is read in 2.
Motion.
Have a motion from Gantier,
Second.
second from Shropshire. We are in public hearing. Any yeas, nays, or neutrals? Okay. Either there is none. Do I have a motion to exit public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
A motion from Gantier
I
and a
think we
second.
didn't have a vote, did we?
We did.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back and take a vote to enter public hearing.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Brashears,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Sorry, guys, I got a little head. Apologize. All right, now I'll do it all over again. Any yeas, nays, or neutrals? Okay, do I have a motion to exit public hearing?
So moved again.
Motion from Gantier,
Second.
second from Choya. Call for the vote.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Brashears,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Okay. Item 7, discussion and possible action regarding the final plat for Casey General Stores. Owners Wallace and Phyllis Baker Trust, Lori Ann Reinhardt, trustee. Legal is read in item 2.
Motion to approve with the waiving of the reading.
Okay, motion from Gantier,
I'll second.
second from Brashears. Any discussion? Okay, given there is none, we will call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Brashears,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar.
Yes.
Okay. Item 8, public hearing. This is to enter public hearing for the zoning change for Casey Cowan.
Motion.
Second.
Do you want to make that motion to waive that reading? Or you want me to
Yes,
read
I
it?
will make the motion to waive the reading.
Second.
Okay, motion to waive the reading and enter public hearing from Brashears, seconded by Gantier. When you are ready, you can call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Brashears,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Okay.
So, a little unprepared because I didn't know we were having this meeting right after the other meeting. I just thought that we were having that
Hey,
meeting.
we're
so-
knocking it out.
All right, yeah, so I don't have plans. I did share those with you,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor Doyle, so he's seen those, what our plan is. But basically, what our plan is to come in to put in about 80-plus spots at a campsite over here by the, whatever that trailer
Green
park
Hunt-
is
Green
called.
Country Mobile Home
Green
Park.
Country Mobile Home Park there. And so we got about 10 acres there. We've had platted out there. We just have to get it rezoned to do such. We had at one point thought about maybe putting tiny homes on the back west property, and that would have required a different kind of rezoning, and we thought there was going to be a little too much red tape and trouble to get through that. So what we decided to do was just do away with that, just do the campsites, do a nice RV park, One question the last meeting, which I know was an invalid meeting a few weeks ago, was about property values. We feel like we're gonna do this really nice. It's gonna be nice concrete pads, paved roads in between. You know, we're not just gonna let whoever come in there and then stake claim there. It's gonna be, you know, a nice place to come. Feel the need for Pryor is growing, so the need for housing and optional campsites is, needs to be available for that. So we're gonna do it right. So we feel like we're actually gonna bring property value up around that area as well. So that's our goal. We've always wanted to do that, and feel like there's an opportunity there, and feel like with the growth of Pryor that it's needed as well. And so that's our plan. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Where again is this located?
I'm sorry.
Where is this located?
So I know it best by the liquor cabinet, but I always forget the name of the mobile home park, Green Country Mobile Home Park. It'd be just to the west of it. We bought the property from Clay Larimore.
Okay.
He owned about 20 acres, 18 acres there, and we bought 10 acres from him in the middle there.
So you're immediately south of the water tower west.
Yes, correct.
Is there any flood problem right there?
No, we've already done some initial plating and everything with civil engineers. So she said if I'd known this meeting was coming, I would have brought our initial layouts as well. That has all the utility lines and flood and all that stuff already drawn out for our initial stuff there. I have shared that with Mr. Doyle, so he has seen that as well. But yeah, we've checked into all that and have her on reserve for once the rezoning is approved. And as soon as that happens, we'll continue on with her to get all the utility lines and everything all marked up in there and platted out. Correct?
Remember right, the drainage was to go to the west?
Yes, because there's already
Between
pretty much
the property
drainage ditch
line-
back there.
line
Yes,
is,
yeah,
we'll
and we're
drain
gonna
south
yeah,
from there.
Yeah.
yes, sir.
30
I
foot wide.
have just a couple of questions.
Yes,
Is there gonna be a privacy type fence on the west side
That
of the
was
property?
that was another question that was brought up in what I'm going to keep calling the invalid meeting we had a few weeks ago, and I've talked with that neighbor that's going to be directly to the south of us, I believe, and yes, it'll be a privacy fence. And I told him once we get closer to actually getting this approved that we'll work hand in hand with him. We're going to be neighbors. We want him to be happy that we work hand in hand with him to see how much room he wants in between there that we build. And he's already got a fence there, I believe, and that we would build one as well, and that he was asked how much room would be in between. And I told him we'd just come out there and work it out with him and figure it out, and you know he seemed to be good with that answer that I gave him on that. So but
Okay.
yes,
And then
short there'll be privacy.
what kind of amenities are gonna be there for your,
It will be what do they call it? What's the word I'm looking for?
They'll have
There'll be
all
sewer,
the-
water, and electric there at each site. We will plan full hookup. Yeah, thank you. And so be all sites will be all full hookup. We also have plans to build a pretty nice office that'll have showers in there, restroom, and office in there, and then eventually to build either a small little park or I say a pool. It'll only be like 3 or 4 foot deep, just something to kind of get in. That would be fenced off as well. So that'd be the only additions. It'll be full amenities, full hookups on all the sites.
okay? And then once you get the zoning done, when do you expect to start turning dirt?
Just as quick as we can get get all the plating done and everything worked out with the city on what they would, because I know that we had some talks with the city, what they would be offering to bring, what would be what we would need to bring to the table. And so once we kind of got all those planned out, then we'd hit the ground running. I mean, we want to move as fast as possible.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a couple of questions. First, how long are people gonna be able to reside here and living in an RV and or on a campground?
I mean, our goal is to make it to where it is a you're in and out type of thing. But there are going to be the occasional monthly people that want to rent. I mean, there's going to be people that's coming in that's working into the industrial park that's going to want to stay somewhat long term. And again, in those situations, I mean, not trying to be stereotypical, but we're not going to let the riffraff come in there and plant and make that thing look nasty. It's going to be at our discretion. And
So not 3 or 4 years.
I mean, I wouldn't sign a 3 or 4 year contract with somebody if that's what you're asking. It might, like I said, it might be monthly, but if somebody stayed there for 3 or 4 years on a month-to-month contract, it could possibly happen. Yes.
What do you mean by campground? Are they gonna be living in tents? Are they gonna?
No tents. There'll be only campsites. Like I said, they'll all be concrete pads. Only RVs, mobile homes. or I'm sorry, not mobile homes, but campers and
When you
motorhomes.
say that, are you meaning like a self-contained unit that has a sewer and water all
Yes.
within it?
I said mobile home, I meant to say motorhome. Motorhome, RV, pull behind, fifth wheel, every one of those, no tents, yeah, everything's
From
self-contained.
the get-go, we've discussed
Yes,
high-end camping.
yes, yeah,
So it's not
that's
gonna
probably a better way of
interfere
putting
with
it.
Camping ordinance we just
No,
passed, okay.
Not at all.
That's all I had. Thank you, sir.
Hopefully that helped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trying to find the right words, appreciate it.
All right.
I appreciate you being proactive though and going to the people, the neighbors that you're gonna
Yeah.
be, that's helpful.
We've already exchanged phone
On
numbers
our
with
end,
him.
you know, whenever
Yeah,
we're reaching out.
again, it was the invalid meeting, I guess,
Yeah.
but we had a great talk out afterwards and exchanged numbers. We've talked over text quite a bit and phone call and plan on meeting with him once we kind of see where things are actually going to go. And like I said, that's the last thing I told him. Hey, we're going to be neighbors. I want to get along. So we're going to try to do everything we can to appease those people around there. We're going to do it up nice and make it look nice. And our ideal would bring value to their properties. So.
I have one more question.
Yes, sir.
With the water tower being there, is there a major utility easement for a main water line going through that property to that tower that's?
I don't believe so. We don't own right next to the water tower. So there's like 18 acres there that Clay owned. We bought basically like 10 acres out of the middle from him. He kept his access because he owns that field out there. You know, he's got like another 300 acres where that water tower is at. So he kept the one that's exactly adjacent to him. So.
And Jared has approved all of we've had basically the pre-construction
Yeah.
meetings that we typically have. Jared laid it all out, brought all his lines, and Jared's 100% on board.
Yeah, and those lines are on there with our civil engineers put on there. Like I said, I wish I'd known this meeting was happening. I would give those plats out to you guys too, the initial plats. But I have shared it with Mayor Gould, and he's seen it. Like I said, they've been involved. Jared been involved in all that as well, and there's access to everything, and shouldn't be any issues on all that stuff there. So.
And I just want to add, for those that aren't aware, the Cowans do own a significant business here in town and have been great supporters of the community. You set a standard with your work and the things that you do for our community. So I would only believe that they would continue that through this project as well.
I appreciate those kind words. Any other questions? Thank you.
All right. Is there anybody else that would have comments? Yeas and nays? If not, do I have a motion to exit public hearing?
So moved.
Second. I have a motion from Gantier and a second from Brashears. So you can call for the vote.
Brashears,
Yes.
Trimble,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Brashears. I'm sorry, Bradshaw.
That's okay. Yes.
All right. Discussion and possible action regarding zoning change for Casey Cowan. Legal is right above.
Motion to approve with waiving of the reading.
I have a motion to approve with waiving.
I'll second.
From Gantier and a second from Brashears. Any further discussion? If none, we will go ahead and call for the vote.
Trimble,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Brashears.
Yes. All right. Item 10, we enter into public hearing for the zoning change for Joe Crab Real Property. I do want to go ahead and read this one because I do need to make sure that we're aware of a change that needs to be made on the designation here. The zoning change for Joe Crab Property, applicant 8 Point Creative LLC. The south 25 feet of lot numbered 17 and all of the lot numbered 18 in block numbered 28 in the Whitaker addition to the incorporated town of Pryor Creek, Mays County, state of Oklahoma, according to the A.L. Gibbs survey and plat thereof, 21 North Indianola. The applicant is requesting the zone to be changed from commercial general CG to residential single 35. That needs to be single 70 for the zoning to match the existing use. That just gives for different land size.
I'll make the motion.
With the change?
Yes, with the change.
Okay, so I have a motion with that change to RS 70 from Brashears and a second from Gantier. Call for the vote.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Brashears,
Yes.
Trimble.
Yes.
We're in public hearing. Ms. Stringer?
Hello, my name is Jessie Stringer with 8 Point Creative, and I'm happy to answer any questions for those of you who sat in on the Planning Commission meeting a moment ago. This is a parcel that is in a neighborhood, a place that has always been a neighborhood with single-family detached homes, and we're simply trying to remedy a zoning issue that, for whatever reason, has slipped through the cracks until now, and now that has been brought to my client's attention and some of the neighboring properties who received public notice. A lot of them, a couple were actually here tonight, but they have reached out to my client and said, I didn't even know my property was zoned commercial. We've lived here for 20 years, 30 years. So I would reckon that we're probably the first of many who are going to come forward requesting to rezone back to residential, but we're simply asking that the new zoning designation matches the existing use that has already been there. Nothing is going to change other than now any new young families who are trying to get a loan to purchase this home can do so. Most banks in Oklahoma and really most states won't issue loans to home buyers unless the zoning designation and the use unit are a match perfectly, which is a shame, but they're kind of the ones governing this. So even though the municipality is being very flexible and would allow the use to continue to exist, even though it doesn't match the zoning, our banks do not look at it that way and will not give loans to folks. So we're asking to rezone to residential. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Is there anybody that wasn't here for that meeting earlier?
That's right, we were all here.
All right. I think we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Is there anybody else? Okay, I guess also at this point, you guys heard, well, discussion later, sorry. No further, then let's have a motion to exit public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, call for the vote.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yep, yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, item 11, discussion and possible action regarding zoning change for Joe Crab Real Property, applicant 8 Point Creative LLC, legal as read above.
Make the motion to approve with the waiving of the reading, except to include the change.
Okay,
I'll second.
we have a motion from Gantier to accept the change, waive the reading, and a second from Brashears. Discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Gantier.
I was listening to what was said earlier. I didn't need for her to say it again because we were all here. The idea that we can't track down what happened, just as a point of consideration, if there might possibly be a way that we could try and take care of everybody that wants to stay commercial, residential, all later in another meeting, I would be in favor of, rather than having each individual.
No, 100%. That's kind of the idea. The number one thing that I want to get across with this one particular situation is that, like I said earlier in the previous meeting, time and time again in the city, we've heard the verbiage that spot zoning is illegal. I don't know where this came from. We need to put to rest that ideology that it is illegal. It is, Chase, you stop me if I'm wrong, it is risky. It can be a problem if it's done improperly, but it is not illegal. And in this instance, I think that's actually going to be helpful to get this taken care of. When this was discovered, we realized that that whole block of homes that have been here since, I don't know, 30s, maybe 40s, for whatever reason, as far back as Cheryl and I could find, even pre-96, Terry, I don't know if you know we've gone zoning before that, but it's, for whatever reason, it's always been commercial general. Now, I don't know if that was because there was an intent with it being right along Old Highway 20 at the time. Obviously, that way predates the new Highway 20. I don't know. We know that the Peters that live on the west side of have property on the west side of the road. They've requested that theirs stay commercial, but this would primarily, going forward, not for tonight's purposes, this would be the next step in the process for the rest of them, is we would send out that same 300-foot radius to those properties. We would address those properties and make sure that they're all aware that this is going to be a discussion. We'd hear them in public hearing, but it's just one of those, we found an error in our zoning that goes back to who knows when. I don't think it's one of those things where we've got to pull the minutes and find who's wrong and, oh my gosh, accountability, we just need to fix it. We just need to stop living in the past and get it fixed, move forward, have the meetings and be done. For tonight, we want to take care of the Joe Crab real property, and we want to get that done so that they can move forward. But we also, in the same token, want to put to rest this ideology that this is not something that we're, breaking the law to do. We want to make sure that our motives and our direction are correct, legal and just, and ethical, and I think that's the case. But at a later time, I would encourage the zoning committee and the council to look at that particular block of houses and consider fixing that issue after we've addressed it with the residences.
And also, just for clarification for the public, just because the county assessor's office has that zoned as residential does not necessarily mean that the city has it zoned as residential. So you got to make sure if you're buying property in city, you got to look. There actually is a city zoning map that you can look up on the website.
Is there further discussion?
Yes, Mayor, just for clarification on trying to dig into a little bit deeper on maybe where to find the answer to the question we're wanting about when this was all done. When a property is sold, don't they have to do a title search? And
Title search
it's,
usually doesn't necessarily bring up zoning though.
okay, but maybe they're abstract? I'm just looking at clues to try to figure out,
I mean, it could be in there.
but you never know.
Typically, a title search looks at an abstract, so you're talking about the same.
Yeah,
But what that's doing is checking if there's a cloud on the title, not necessarily the zoning. So if someone else's name or a lien or something like that is
Right.
on it, but not necessarily a zoning issue.
but I do know that you never know what you're gonna find
You never
historical wise in an abstract too. There's
Right.
lots of stuff that's not pertaining specifically. And if I could remember correctly, Highway 20 was built the new Highway 20 was built around 98, 99 timeframe roughly. So it could be possible that knowing that road was gonna be coming through there, the planning for that had to been done years before, or several years before construction started, and therefore the city, whoever, may have been trying to plan ahead for commercial zoning through there. So where I'm going at with that is that maybe back in the early 90s when all this was being developed is maybe a time period to look to. I don't know, but
Yeah.
And we talked about that actually, is that's probably what happened, and then it just never developed like they planned and stayed residential
Okay.
in identity. But that's what I assume happened as well.
Right.
And then lastly, the document that you read earlier
Yep.
at the other meeting, I know you're not gonna read it now, but can that document be entered into the minutes of this meeting,
Yeah,
please, for
so-
our record?
I don't have a problem with that. You sent me that, 30 minutes before the meeting?
4:35.
Yeah, so
Saying, I think there's gonna be an issue about this.
respectively, absolutely. I have no problem doing that. That's fine. We'll print that off and give it to Jay. So,
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. Any further discussion? If none, then we will call for the vote.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Do you have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
A motion from Brashears and a second from Gantier. When you are ready, call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar.
Yes.
We're adjourned.
Always exciting, isn't it? Bradshaw, Shears, and Brown, Brown.
Now, we doing budget committee? Rolling right in?
Bees have it.
I don't think,